have a lot of styles that have just carried over, so I might be able to already send you those videos. The Sensorite 5 is new, so I did bring a sample of that. So,
what color are we gonna have that one in? You remember?
It's probably already in the computer at least.
Oh, okay.
yeah. All right. So I'm Anna Spicer. I'm your Salomon footwear rep, and I've been with Salomon for 12 years now. I'm based out of Idaho, and I cover Utah, Idaho, Montana, and Wyoming. So that's just a little bit of background on me. Oh, you're good. And I just wanted to come in and go over all of the Salomon shoes that you guys have, and all the different features, who they speak to, and make sure to answer any questions that you guys get from your customers. So, before I kick it off, you said that you've sat in a Salomon clinic before. Have you sat in a Salomon clinic before? Okay, so you're newly to the brand. So just a little bit about Salomon as a brand. I always like to give a little bit of heritage on the brand. Always good for you guys to know where we came from. So we're mostly known for the ski business. We've been making skis, boots, and bindings for 70 years now. We actually just celebrated that anniversary. And we've been making trail running and hiking shoes for about 30 years now. And that's what we're known for, is trail running and hiking. That's what we do best. We have a big research and development lab in Annecy, France. So we're a French company, and we're owned by Amer Sports. Amer also owns Arc'teryx, Armada, Atomic, Wilson, Louisville Slugger. The list goes on, but we share that umbrella with all of those great sister companies. And then we have a U.S. headquarters out of Ogden, Utah, so we do have a local headquarters as well. And our warehouse is out of there too, so you guys being especially close to that, if you guys reorder anything, or your shipping should be pretty fast, being that you're local. So. But that's just a little bit of background on the brand. And then as far as basic technologies, I also like to go over just basic technologies that you guys will see across the board with Salomon shoes. So the quick lace is our signature speed lace. Everybody identifies Salomon shoes with that, but it's just meant to be quick, fast, easy. The last thing that you want to do when you're blazing a trail is have to bend down and tie your shoes. So easy on, easy off. But being that we have so many newcomers to the outdoors, if they're not as familiar with it, or they're just more comfortable with their traditional lace, you can just reassure them that it is 4 times stronger than a traditional lace. It's made out of synthetic Kevlar, so very durable, same type of material they use for bulletproof vests. So really durable, and a good way to keep it from not breaking and not getting caught in anything is to stow all of the extra slack in the little pocket in the tongue. So a lot of people, when they try it on, they won't see that. So really good for you guys to point it out or merchandise it that way. You wouldn't believe how many people have owned Salomons for years and don't know that there's a little stow pocket to put all of their extra lace. So, but there's no elasticity to the lace. So once you, it's a very like set it and forget it type of mentality. So once you cinch it up, it's going to provide some really good foothold, and it's not going to loosen up during the course of your run or your hike. So one of the things that Salomon's really known for is our fit, and a lot of our customers really like that speed lace. So so if it does happen to break, though, we do make lace replacement kits that you guys have on hand, and there is a YouTube video that goes over step by step on how to replace the lace, and definitely you can refer to that if you ever have to. But in the 12 years that I've been with Salomon, I've never had to personally replace a lace, so shouldn't have a whole lot of issues with it. But that's the speed lace. And then another technology that you'll see across the board that I actually brought a poster for is Contagrip. Contagrip is the name of our rubber outsole. We own Contagrip, so it's our own proprietary. And the great thing about that is since we own it, we have the ability to change up the lug geometry. We have a bunch of different lug geometries to choose from. And we can basically build our own recipe that's catered to the terrain that you're using it on and then the sport that you're using it for. So we have its own unique makeup and design for that. So that's why we've stuck with Contagrip for so many years. And I bought the poster that goes over all the different types of Contagrip. We can basically change up the durometer of the rubber, so make it how hard or how soft you want. The XA Pro is a really good example of that. So anytime you see two different colorations of Contagrip, that generally means that there's a higher abrasion of rubber in the zones where you'd wear down the shoe the most. So that'll help increase the durability and make the shoe last longer. So another thing that Salomon's really known for is our grip and our durability. And that rings true with the Contagrip outsole. So that's a little bit about Contagrip. And then another technology that you'll see with some of the shoes, not all the shoes, but if you see some form of a chassis, like this one has a 3D chassis, and then your Pioneer has this advanced chassis. So anytime you see a chassis, that generally means that that is some support that's built into the shoe. So this is TPU, it's just a fancy term for plastic, but it's embedded into the foam, and that's gonna help provide some really good rigidity and keep you from turning an ankle. So it's a really good hiking feature. A lot of hiking shoes will have some form of a rock plate or a shank or some form of support to offer really good protection and really good stability so that you won't turn an ankle. So you have a 3D chassis in this XA Pro, and then you have an advanced chassis in the Pioneer, and then you also have an advanced chassis in the X Ultra. So that's this one here. So there's different forms of chassis. In the XA Pro, you have the 3D chassis that wraps the heel and then wishbones up through the midfoot. We didn't put it entirely through the midfoot because we didn't want to inhibit the flex. We're very much known as an athletic outdoor brand, so a lot of people will pick up our product and the first thing they say is, wow, this is really lightweight. So we didn't want to make it too heavy, we didn't want to make it too stiff, so you still have the support where you need it, but it's not going to be heavy, it's not going to be too stiff. So 3D chassis wraps the heel, wishbones up through the midfoot. Advanced chassis here in the X Ultra lives a little bit more laterally and then wraps the arch here. And in this case, it doesn't wrap the heel because we wanted to eliminate some of the weight, and it lives where you need it the most. So if you're fatigued and you're headed downhill, you're most likely to turn an ankle this way. And so you have the support where you need it the most, and then it's partnered with this active support band to keep you from turning that ankle. But we didn't add additional weight to the shoe, so it'll still be lightweight, it'll still be flexible, it'll still be athletic. And then if you do want, this is the Pioneer, this chassis will wrap the heel, but it won't wishbone up through the midfoot like the XA Pro. And the reason for that is because this is a really aggressive outsole, so you're already getting protection, you don't necessarily need that chassis there. But you'll have different forms of chassis as well throughout the line. Anytime you see a chassis, it generally means that it's geared more towards hiking than trail running, because that chassis is going to make it a little bit too rigid as a trail running shoe. Most trail runners will want something that's a little bit more flexible because they want to go over rocks and roots and they want to be nimble, where hikers want it to be a little bit more sturdy so they won't turn an ankle. So those are just basic technologies that you'll see across the board. And then as far as just shoes that you guys carry and how they differ and what makes them great. So I'll start it with the Speed Cross. So Speed Cross, this shoe has been in the line for 20 years now. This is the 6th iteration that came out last fall, and what makes it great is obviously it's super aggressive outsole, so it's meant to bite into mud, scree, snow. This is your sloppy stuff, also great in the sand. And then this type of Contagrip we updated from the 5 to the 6 to make it stickier, to make it tackier, so it's better on slick rock. If you go over wet rock or if you go over slick rock, you're gonna have stickier, tackier grip. So, and then we also, that Conta grip is also quite a bit more durable than the previous 5. So if people complain that their lugs wear out, which is common complaint with the Speedcross, this Conta grip has been updated to be more durable than the previous 5. So, but better suited for more trail than pavement. Most of the time they're wearing down the lugs because they're using it as their everyday shoe, because it is very stylish, so a lot of people like to wear it as their everyday shoe. But I like to give the analogy, it's kind of like taking your mountain bike out on the pavement. You're just going to burn through the lugs a little bit faster if you use it as an everyday shoe. You certainly can because it's comfortable, but it's just more equipped for trail specific activities. So grip package, a lot of people really like these lugs because it offers just a lot of really good traction out on the trail. And then they are spread out to shed the mud really well. So a lot of like Tough Mudder folks or Spartan runners really like that feature. It's really appealing for your type of terrain. And then we also did, from the 5 to the 6, we made the lugs quite a bit deeper. So they are quite a bit larger, they are quite a bit deeper, and then they are spread out a little bit more so that they do shed the mud a little bit better. So just upgraded the lugs, and then from the 5 versus the 6. And then we also just aesthetically made the shoe just look a little bit faster. We kind of went back to its original roots. It's very rugged looking, it's very motocross inspired, just ready to get dirty. So it does look a little bit faster, a little bit more vibrant colors as well, to make the shoe stand out. And this is very much like our Skittles shoe. We do a lot of different colors with the Speedcross, and a lot of people will buy it solely based off of the looks. So that's your Speedcross. It did go up $10 in price. That's not a general theme across Salomon's line, which is great, but Speedcross did go up $10 in price, so that one is now $140. Used to be $130, so just a little bit more. So that's the Speedcross 6. If you guys do get specific questions about drop, I don't know if you get that, but just in case, it is a 10 mil drop from heel to toe. So just a little bit more than maybe what you'd see from like your Sense Ride that lives at an 8 mil drop. We do that because we're assuming that if you're doing any type of mountain running, you're doing a little bit more hiking than you are running, so we want to provide you with a little bit more heel stability, and that's why we just have a higher heel to toe drop. So that's the 6, one of my favorites. And then the XA Pro is another one that's been in the line for I think over 20 years now, and XA Pro is one of our best sellers for both men and women. A little bit better for men than for women, but we did make it lighter over the years, so more women should come back to it. But really what makes it great is this 3D chassis that offers a lot of really good support, a lot of really good protection, but again, it's not full length, so you'll still have some flexibility. It won't be super heavy, but if they say they want some support, they don't want to turn an ankle, you can recommend the XA Pro. It's a very durable shoe. It also has really great arch support, so if they want to wear it as their everyday shoe, they can. And it's not super aggressive, so they won't burn through the tread. A lot of men will wear it as their everyday shoe, but great hiker. Not so much a trail running shoe, just because it runs a little bit stiff because of that 3D chassis, so a little bit more of a lightweight hiker than a trail runner. But that's your XA Pro, $130 price point there, and the nice breathable mesh will be good for when you guys get hot temperatures. So that's XA Pro, and then the X Ultra is kind of your beefier version. So it shares a lot of the same technologies. It has that chassis piece, but like I said before, it doesn't wrap the heel. So you eliminate some of the weight, and it does run a little bit more athletic, but it does have a beefier outsole package than the XA Pro. So these lugs are quite a bit larger, quite a bit deeper to bite into mud, scree, snow, sand, gravel, all of the trail terrain. So really good grip there as well. The women's actually has, so this is the Pioneer, but you'll notice with both the X Ultra 4 and the X Ultra Pioneer that the women's has larger lugs. So she's gonna have a little bit more stability, and then she's also gonna have a little bit more flexibility. These are not as stiff, and the rubber is a little bit softer, so women tend to like things that are not as heavy, not as stiff. They have more flexible feet than men. So we did do some women specific features for the X Ultra Pioneer. So these both live in the same family. The X Ultra Pioneer used to be the X Ultra 3, but we didn't want to have the 3 and the 4 in the line to confuse people. So if they said that they had the X Ultra 3 at any point, you can just say that this is the X Ultra 3 just renamed to the X Ultra Pioneer. So this is very much your national park customer. If they want something that is supportive, but they don't want to spend a ton of money, then it is a really good bang for your buck, because you get a really nice aggressive outsole, you get really good support, and it's $100 price point. So really, really good offering there for that person that just doesn't want to spend a ton of money and on their vacation on shoes. So that's your X Ultra Pioneer, and X Ultra 4. And you have both of those for men and women. This is the X Ultra Pioneer for men as well. So.
What country is Conscious Drip based out of?
So we have a few factories. Most of our manufacturing is out of Vietnam and Indonesia, and then just recently this year we added an additional factory in Cambodia. We realized after all of the supply challenges that we've dealt with the past 2 years, we needed more producing and more ants on the ground. So we have an additional factory that we're working with in Cambodia, and then we also have an additional factory in China that's solely dedicated to the Chinese market. So all of the design is in Annecy, France, where our big headquarters is, but all the manufacturing is in Vietnam, Indonesia are the big ones, and then we have Cambodia and an additional factory in China.
They make the sole pretty much where they're going to make the rest of the shoe.
Yes, yeah. I don't believe they're done in separate places. So, but good
There is
question.
one more new shoe we have from the ladies.
Yeah, here's the Outrise. So the Outrise here, this will be speaking more to that person that wants more of a sneakerized hiking shoe. So they want something that's gonna fit and feel like their sneaker, something that they can wear to the coffee shop or the pub afterwards. It has a little bit more of a lifestyle look to it and appeal there. So definitely like peak to pub type of mentality. So not going to have as much support, not going to be as rigid or rugged as the X Ultra Pioneer, X Ultra 4, and the XA Pro. So it doesn't have any form of a chassis, but the benefit to that is for the person that wants something that's a little less stiff, a little less heavy. They want something that's a little bit more cushioned, a little bit more flexible. This is a really good option for that customer. So more of like the weekend warrior, or someone that's coming from the city and they want something that has just enough grip, but they can use as their everyday shoe too. So
I like that peak to toe.
yeah.
I like that too, yeah.
So
I'm using
yeah,
that this year.
it's very catchy, right? But you also have your traditional lace too, which is nice. So the Pioneer and the Outrise will have the traditional lace. I know that you guys used to carry the Mission from us, and that was one of our best-selling shoes. And this is very much like that Starbucks shoe. It has a very cutesy look, but just enough to, just enough grip and just enough ruggedness where they could use it out on the trail too. So that's the Outrise. Going to be your more cushioned option there, more of a sneakerized hiker. And then you are supposed to get Sense Ride 5. So Sense Ride 5 will come out next month. Has a little bit later release date of 4/1, and this is the 5. So differences between the 4 and the 5, because I know that you guys used to carry the 4. So this is still going to be your all-rounder. This is my go-to shoe for red dirt. Anytime I go to St. George or Zion or Moab, this is the shoe that I bring. Mainly because it's not super aggressive, so you can use it on multi-surface, and it's a really nice hybrid option. So if you want to use it on pavement, it's not going to be super aggressive, not super stiff, but perfect on the slick rock, just enough grip for the slick rock. And then there is a Profil Film plate, a really thin TPU plate that lives in the midfoot, but that plate is really flexible. So that's why I said you could wear it on the pavement. It's not going to feel super stiff, but just enough protection to protect you from stone bruising. If you go over any sharp stones or anything like that, you won't feel them. So Profil Film plate up front. And then the main difference from the 4 to the 5 is it gets a more cushioned midsole here. So it used to have OptiVibe, which was a high vibration foam partnered with EVA, and it was pretty responsive, but it ran a little bit stiff up against some of the others that are just more cushioned. So we know that more people are looking for just a little bit more cushion. You're still going to get that response, you're still going to get that durability, but it is a new blended midsole. It's olefin and EVA, which you get the best of both worlds. You get response and you get cushioning, just a little bit more cushioned than the previous Sense Ride 4. So you'll definitely notice that. It's also lighter weight because of that. So you'll pick it up and immediately that you'll notice that it's a lot lighter weight than the 4. And then aesthetically, we just improved the mesh. This is an engineered mesh, just looks a little bit more durable, also offers a little bit more breathability, and we just gave it a facelift, so it does look a little bit snazzier, I would say. So that's the Sense Ride 5. And one of our most popular shoes. It is an 8mm drop from heel to toe, and man, I've used the Sense Ride for just about anything, but for you guys, it's probably going to be like your base of the mountain. If they do go up some pretty technical stuff, they'll still have enough protection and grip. It just kind of depends, you know, if they go over some really like sloppy stuff, they'll want more of the speed cross, but this is just a great all-rounder. So that's the Sense Ride 5. And then I don't have my sample, but I did want to show you guys. This is going to be the Tech Amphibian 5 that you guys will get there. So that is the ladies, and man, we're on the 5th iteration of the Tech Amphibian, but this is our hiking sandal. It will have a scythed bottom, so really great for where you're going over wet slick rock to offer really good grip. Could be used for rafting as well if you wanted to. I don't know if it's like, depends on the person. I don't know if it's technically great for the narrows. You might want something that's going to offer a little bit more protection, but totally based on preference and capability there. But you'll have that scythed bottom for grip, and then you'll have that mesh upper that's going to offer really good breathability, really good drainage as well. And then it does have a collapsible heel, so you could wear it as a clog if you wanted to. And you can cinch up the back just to offer a little bit more foothold so that your foot's not moving around in the shoe. But this has been in the line forever, and it's a really good just hiking sandal. Last year's version looked a little bit too like lifestyle-y. We wanted to make it more rugged looking, more hike looking. So the 5th iteration just looks a little bit more like the original, a little less lifestyle-y. So that is the ladies, and then you'll get, here's the men's that you'll get. That's the pewter color that you'll get for men. So both of those will show up on 4/1
And
as
the
well.
men's drop like a clog too?
Yes, yeah.
Awesome feature.
Yeah, and you'll get that quick lace that stows into the pocket too. It's a really easy on, easy off. So that's the new Tech Amphibian there. And that is $110 price point. It's a really good price point for that too. So. And I think that's your Salomon lineup. Do you guys have any questions? Do you have any questions? No?